will of the Force. Now, there are some people that believe that the Force has a will of its own. That would say that is to say that it is a conscious being.
You don't think that?
No, I don't. I don't believe that it is a conscious being. My personal view is that the Force is not a conscious being. Otherwise, the only way that I would be able to reconcile that would be when I went back to telling you about Ashla and Bogon. Ashla being God, Bogon being Satan. In which case that would split the Force in two, which
it's one.
It's one. So I can't reconcile the idea. That's not in my mind to do. Though some people can see it as yin and yang, all in one deity, depending on your pantheon. Now the will of the Force, if it has a consciousness, would be whatever the will of that deity that's in charge of it is supposed to be for you. So like if it's the goddess is supposed to allow for balance, right?
Some do, some don't, but okay.
Okay.
For every creator there's a destroyer, and vice versa.
Right. I was trying to come up with one deity that's both. I can't think of.
Sekhmet in Egyptian, she's a goddess of destruction and war, but she is also a protector.
Okay, that's a good one.
Any justice god or goddess, I would imagine, would possibly fit that description.
Okay. Hermes. So if you move forward with that idea that there being one there in that embodiment of that particular being, or even if you go back to Wakan, come to think of it now. Wakan. If you go back to Wakan, the Force is manifested in many deities that are supposed to communicate the will of the Force to keep that balance. So this would mean that the Force is a conscious being that keeps balance within itself. So now we're going to go on to sort of how everything that I've said now, how you guys view what the will of the Force would be. I'll start. And then because he keeps saying that he's the first one, we'll go counterclockwise this time. So my belief is that the Force has no will of its own. What we perceive as will is God and Satan's will imposed upon us. If you go back to the Jewish beliefs, the Jews kind of see that God created Satan, and who's watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Everybody. The old version?
Yeah.
Yeah, the original.
That's awesome.
Homeboy, the guy from the yes, I just used that too. The guy from the beginning of the movie when he comes up to Charlie, I don't remember his name for the life of me. He comes up to Charlie and he says, "Hey," he tries to tempt him. Or whatever. Slugworth. That's his name.
I love you.
So Slugworth is like Satan in many Jewish beliefs.
So he works for God?
He works for God.
Okay.
To test you. So in this case, that could be that would be that one idea. Satan is working for God, and his will is basically to try to get you to derail, but his real will is actually to get you to go to God truthfully, honestly, integrity-wise. Yes.
Then he really doesn't want your everlasting gobstopper anyway, which is your soul. He just wants to screw with you.
Exactly.
So you win the contest in the end.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or you can go with Christian belief. Or you can go with Christian belief, which is my belief, and that is that Satan and God are warring against each other, and eventually God's going to win anyway. Just Satan doesn't want to admit it yet. So,
babysitter, sorry.
Great. Yes.
I think personally that the Force doesn't have the energy, whatever you want to call it. It does not have a will of its own per se. It exists simply to create and destroy and keep life moving, keep everything from stagnating and freezing. It lives to basically let you live, let you die, let you move on. But how people manipulate it, that's just an extension of that because, it causes creation and destruction. That's what its will is. No specific type of creation, no specific type of destruction, just the continuing of everything.
Hi guys.
They're leaving.
later.
Bye.
Your turn.
It's hard to vote for myself. I'm gonna pass right now.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Nicole?
I would hope it would have a will of its own.
I kind of think of it as a community will, you know, in other words, overall, everybody as a community, therefore wants it to be generally good towards everyone. So therefore, even though there's bad people and there's good people, it still overall tends to want to have it to be for the good of all.
So
that type of thing.
the force is the democracy?
No, it's
No, of course
not,
it is.
it's, but the general well-being, the well-being of everyone, you know, basically is how I think of it is, because if, we wouldn't wanna destroy ourselves normally, you know.
But if
You're talking to
if
Bree.
things don't die, I'm not trying to interrupt the circle, but if things don't die, you're gonna run out of room for creation too.
Right, well, I'm just saying in the overall will, I didn't
Right,
say
so
that
is it just
the circle of life is still gonna continue, but the will of the force is basically
collective
collective,
to create and improve?
yeah,
Okay,
that's what I was thinking about.
that's fair enough.
Sorry. To branch off what he was saying, basically, the will of the force is not its own will, it is what each individual puts into its own, everybody's will they put into it.
So essentially, it is
Your will,
the living force's will.
it is the will of yourself. I mean, it's like, I had it raised. Oh, okay, take a candle.
Okay.
Candle doesn't have a real will of its own, it burns, it provides light. But the only will that it had was the fact that we lit it, we made it. Next, one hiding under the table.
I would liken it to a split personality disorder in a way, where you got, I guess, the good side, which is the normal you that just wants to go about, live, do his business, and you got the other side or whatever that it wants to live too, and it's gotta prove that it exists and that it is its own entity. Say that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like trying to have two people drive one car.
Okay.